Thompson, who's 26 points a game, lead the Denver Nuggets. And on the right of your screen, Julius Erving, the leading vote-getter on the East All-Star team, averaging 20 points a game. Today, the Philadelphia 76ers and the Denver Nuggets.
The NBA on CBS. Today's show is sponsored by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. All the new 1978.
David Thompson and Bobby Jones up front. The center is Dan Issel. Jones will take the jump, and we're underway. And it's an immediate violation with the ball being awarded to Denver right from the jump, and Denver in white to our left. Philadelphia in blue to our right. And a big game between two of the teams considered to be very serious championship contenders. Philadelphia 31-14, leading the Atlantic Division in the Eastern Conference. Denver 30 wins, 16 defeats, and they are leading the Midwest Division in the Western Conference. Since Brian Taylor's defection, they are 3-3, and it is a cause for concern, of course. One of the fine guards in basketball. Wilkerson underneath to Issel. First shot of the game, off the rim and rebounded by Erving. Henry Bebby brings it up for Philadelphia. McGinnis. 8 seconds on the 24-second clock. Collins. Off the rim. Wilkerson for Denver. Number 32. He's been a great asset. He's coming over from Seattle. Jones brings it up for the Sixers with Bill Scorlett. Collins underneath. And the 76ers take the lead.
Well, that's what Doug Collins does so well. He goes to the basket as good or better than any other guard in professional basketball. He's also one of the quickest.
Bobby. David Thompson missing from the far sideline, and Jones underneath keeps it in play. Erving.
Oh, nice play by a big center. You see, when you can have a center and the forwards get in the break like Philadelphia can, that was Caldwell Jones, their center, getting in the front lane of the break and making a nice play, then you have an awesome running team.
4-0. 76ers. We're just underway here at Denver. Foul called. It's going to be Henry Bibby.
Here you see the ball going up. Jones saving it. Actually, the pass was too far, and of course, Jones saving it, getting it back into the doctor, who very smartly was in the left lane.
D.T. David Thompson on the line, shooting 2.
Tim, some interesting matchups in this game, and of course, different people can be on other people, depending on who's playing where. Of course, Denver, they use Thompson up front, and they use him in the back, and they'll move Wilkerson around, and just some great players in this basketball game.
Denver with real good versatility. There's Billy Cunningham, a former CBS analyst, now back in basketball as a coach. A steal. Here's Calvin. And we're tied at 4 as Jones made the steal. Calvin made the basket. 10:21 remaining. First period, we're tied at 4.
But Denver at times now, they will go into a double team. They'll trap, and they'll trap not only in the corner but on the sides, and Bobby Jones is one of the best at doing it.
George McGinnis using the screen of Jones, and it's good.
George McGinnis.
Caldwell Jones, number 11 for Philadelphia. Bobby Jones, number 24 for Denver. The Jones boys in the game today. This is Wilkerson. Bobby Jones. Tied at 6.
That's his shot, Tim. Of course, he loves that lane area right there, and if he gets that shot, it's going to be a deuce. He's a fine percentage shooter.
Henry Bibby leads the 76ers in assists, 251 coming into today's game, and Erving can't keep it alive, and he joins some spectators over there in the second row, including a youngster, and Dr. J makes sure that the youngster's all right.
Well, that shows you the type of person he is. With his hands, he normally would not miss a pass like that, size 11. Man, he ought to catch it. But he went up in the stands after it, and he was very concerned that a little girl over there might be hurt.
He didn't pay for that seat either. Wilkerson to Thompson, top of the key. Driving. Woo! David Thompson.
Well,
oh, boy. Do these guys know they're on national television today?
well, that was a fine play with a fine defensive player on him, Dr. J. And what Denver will do, they'll clear out in the middle of the lane like that, let DT go one-on-one, and he did it very well.
McGinnis can't get the shot off. Erving cutting off Thompson at the pass, and he gets a foul.
You see DT here. He's got the ball. The ball's coming into him. This is a play they run well. They clear out. They've got the entire lane area to go one-on-one. You see the move to his right, and look at this dunk. Boy, I always used to dream about doing that. I never could do that.
Yes, but John, you could shoot those rainbows.
Oh, yeah, those long ones, you know.
Thompson gets his third free throw. It's 9-6 Denver. Backcourt violation by Irving gets Thompson 2 shots. He misses that one, and the Sixers bring it down. This is Henry Bibby, number 14.
Now, the Sixers oftentimes will go into a point offense. Here you see a clear out for Dr. J on one side. A nice move deserves another nice move.
The Doctor hits, and it's 9-8, Denver in front. We've got 8:42 remaining first quarter. Bobby Jones, and Caldwell Jones locks it in. Out come the 76ers. Collins to Bibby. Irving on the rebound, unmolested there. That'll make Larry Brown, the Denver coach, a little unhappy. Trying to get inside, and again it's Bobby Jones. Got a piece of it, and Billy Cunningham says, hey, it went out Bobby Jones. Looked to me like it did. Bobby Denver bomb.
Bobby Jones does a nice job of playing away from the ball. And that time, of course, he got just enough of his hand in to deflect the ball from McGinnis, who was trying to come across the post up.
Thompson back to Calvin. In the corner, Wilkinson. Bobby Wilkerson.
That was a nice set play that Denver ran. It was a double screen. Wilkerson was open over there for about 10 seconds before he got the ball.
Wilkerson leads the Nuggets in assists. Steal by Wilkerson. Interception perfectly, and Issel driving. Slam dunk by Dan Issel. His first points of the game in Denver with a 13-8 lead. 7:42 remaining first period, and the crowd here at the Nichols Sports Arena likes to start by their Denver Nuggets. Gene Littler, a stroke back, along with Mark Feil, David Toole, and Greer Jones. So a real close battle going in the Andy Williams San Diego Open, and we'll be going to it right after this game as the Sixers bring it down. McGinnis stuffing to make it 13-10 Denver.
That is, of course, what the Sixers want to do. They want to run. And here again, you see a center handling the ball. McGinnis, actually a trailer, has a straight shot to the basket.
Doug Collins called for holding.
The Sixers have 6 turnovers so far in the game, and Denver going down, scoring 9 points on those 6 turnovers. That is, of course, a big factor for the Denver Nuggets.
Third team foul for the 76ers. Issel underneath. Can't drop it. Irving on the rebound. Henry Bibby. Tipped away by Calvin, kept alive by Irving. Caldwell Jones.
Beautiful play by the Doctor. You know, he hasn't really been scoring that well lately. He hasn't been shooting well at all, but he's decided, well, I'm going to do all the other things I can to help the club until the O shot comes back. So he's been making great passes and rebounding.
Irving 13 for 51 from the floor in the last 5 games.
What?
Calvin, the guilty Denver Nugget on the foul. Henry Bibby quarterbacking the 76ers attack, and David Thompson gets a hand on the pass intended for Irving.
Now, the Sixers oftentimes, they'll come up and they'll have Bibby out high. They'll send Collins down low. He'll work off single and double screens, and they'll also try to isolate McGinnis and Dr. J.
Irving will throw it in. George McGinnis. Watched by Bobby Jones. Good play. Collins driving.
Well, Collins moves without the ball as good as anyone I've ever seen. And of course, the Sixers have great passers, and they find him. And when you guard Doug Collins, you have to constantly be aware of him. You can't turn your head once.
Philadelphia on top by 1. 14-13. 6:14 remaining first period. Tim Ryan and John McLaughlin in Denver, Colorado. David Thompson. Oh, can he get up?
David has that ability to go either way. He can go right or left and go all the way or pull up for the jumper.
Irving trying to get it to Bibby, and it came off the backboard to McGinnis. Foul called underneath.
Here you see Doug Collins without the ball. Now watch, he's circled here. He has his eye on the ball, and of course they're aware of it. And He goes right down the lane. You can see Matt Calvin not even watching Collins. He's kind of playing a zone area. Collins goes right in for the layup.
Dan Issel committed a foul, and it'll be George McGinnis on the line. He makes the first. First foul for Dan Issel in the game. McGinnis makes two, and you can see the Lakers in front of the Washington Bullets, 15-12. Bobby Wilkerson.
Here's another leaper. There's so many leapers in this game. It's unbelievable. Bobby Wilkerson jumped the center in Indiana, and that time he left the floor about 10 to 12 feet out. Jammed it home.
17-16, Denver by one. 5:35 remaining first period. The doctor, David Thompson on him. Tip-in try by McGinnis, and base foul.
Here you see Bobby Wilkerson coming down the lane all the way in, leads the floor. You see that dotted line? That's 10 feet from the basket. He left it about a foot or two in front of that. That's a long jump, but he can get up.
First foul to Bobby Jones of Denver. McGinnis on the line again.
Now, on this last play, once again, the 76ers got in for an offensive rebound. Actually, McGinnis got two and got fouled. And you don't do that very often on Bobby Jones. He blocks out pretty well, but McGinnis going to the offensive board.
Now McGinnis comes up empty. Wilkerson on the rebound. Nuggets by one, 17-16. Thompson watched by Irving. That's the matchup Cunningham planned. Wilkerson misses from the corner. Back come the 76ers. Collins.
Dr. J versatility again, running the break. He and McGinnis both handle the ball like guards. And Doug Collins, for example, who is a guard, he gets in the lane probably better than a lot of the big guys do. Therefore, they run a very fine break.
Wilkerson passing to Jones, and it looked like McGinnis underneath on the foul.
This is a play they run very well, the Nuggets, that is. It's a back screen by Issel. It really, McGinnis slid by. He saw it coming, but, of course, he could not get up to the ball and commits the foul.
Fourth team foul for Philadelphia. McGinnis comes out. He mixes in as Thompson along the baseline makes it 19-18 Denver.
David Thompson's had great games, and of course, to pick one particular game out is very difficult. But they say, the coaching staff, that he's playing as good now in this stretch as he has ever played.
9 points for David Thompson. Steve Mix in the game, number 50 for Philadelphia, replacing George McGinnis. Irving trying to get loose. Irving fouled. He'll go to the line.
Number 32, Bobby Wilkerson.
And it's Wilkerson picking up the foul.
Well, here you see once again the doctor going one-on-one. And, you know, when you haven't been shooting well, you lose confidence in that shot, no matter how great you are, even if you're as good as Dr. J. It happened to George McGinnis in the playoffs last year. Happened to me a few times, I'll tell you that. And when that old shot goes, you start going to the backboard a little bit, trying to use it as a crutch. But you just put up the shot a little bit differently than you would normally when you have that confidence.
Hard to believe the doctor going 13 for 51 at any time, and that's his numbers through the last 5 games.
Especially, Tim, when you consider a lot of those might be layups and dunks because he does get in on the break and get a lot of close shots.
2 free throws have the 76ers in front by 1. 4:11 remaining first period. Max Calvin. Denver rebound. Thompson lobs it off his foot. Taken by Lloyd Free now in at guard number 21. Irving underneath. Can't drop it. Issel rebounding. Wilkerson back for Denver. Thompson down the lane. It's shot.
Is that the epitome of body control? He's going down there. They try to take the charge. And, of course, he reverses field, lays the ball up with the right hand. He's a fine player.
Lloyd Free and Steve Mix, 2 of the 76ers bomb squad, they're called. The bench strength on this fine team. Free has been a big scorer in recent games for Philadelphia. Issel rebound. It comes off the hands of Irving to Calvin. Thompson. Caldwell Jones puts a stop on him, and it's going to be an offensive foul against David Thompson.
Caldwell Jones loves to block shots, and he does it very well. Here you see a basket by David Thompson. Look at this. He was trying to go all the way to the lane. It was taken away from him, so he just kind of pulled up and laid up a nice shot. Lloyd
Free brings it up for the 76ers. In the high score in 6 of their last 10 games. Collins misses. Jim Price, number 15 in the game with Bo Ellis for Denver, and Price misses.
Jimmy Price is a player that I had an opportunity to play with for some time, and he's an excellent defensive player. And, of course, on this team, he's trying to run the club, which he can do with the absence of Brian Taylor. And I think the absence of Brian Taylor does hurt their club quite a bit, and they will admit to that.
Tom Lagarde, number 45 in the game for Dan Issel. And Lagarde rebound. Loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul on number 50, Steve Mix.
It's against
Now the
Mix.
penalty. Timeout, Denver.
And we're down to penalty with 2:40 remaining. First period. The Denver Nuggets 23, the Philadelphia 76ers 20. For a report on the Los Angeles Lakers Washington Bullets game, let's go now to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson in Landover, Maryland.
Welcome to those of you who have been watching Denver and Philadelphia. Furious pace. Los Angeles with the ball against Washington as Hudson pops and misses. Dandridge controls. I'm Brent Musburger with Keith Erickson. Tommy Anderson to Kevin Greavy. Carr was there with the foul. He has just checked in. And Keith Erickson, for the newcomers along the line, why don't you tell folks how the game has flowed so far?
Well, the Lakers got off to a big lead, and then Washington came back. They were very disorganized at first, and they've come back and played extremely well. They're hitting the boards like crazy, taking advantage of Unseld and Hayes, their size and weight in there, going against Kareem. Kareem has only got 1 rebound so far, I believe. They're really doing a good job of keeping him off the board.
And right now, the big fella is on the Los Angeles bench. He picked up 2 quick personal fouls. Dave Robish has been filling him in, and Lakers with a lead of 3 points, 26-23. Kevin Greavy adds a free throw, total of 8 points. So with 1:33 to go, it's 26-24, Lakers over the Bullets.
Welcome back to Denver. This is Tim Ryan with John McLaughlin. Our score here with 2:24 remaining first period. The Denver Nuggets 24, the 76ers 20, and on the line is Joe Bryant for Philadelphia. Cutting the margin to 3. We neglected to mention our officials today. They're Earl Strom and Mike Mathis. Strom number 12, Mathis number 29. .2:11 remaining first period. Anthony Roberts, the rookie from Oral Roberts, number 21. 26-22, Denver.
Anthony Roberts can certainly shoot the ball, and they must play him.
Welcome to the fans who just joined us here in Denver. The Nuggets in white, the Philadelphia 76ers are in blue, and it is 26-24, Denver in the lead. We have 1:43 remaining here in the first period. Bobby Wilkerson driving. Joe Bryant on the rebound. Lloyd Free. Dr. J. Irving, 8 points. Makes it 26-26. Tom Lagarde, number 45, the rookie in the center for Denver. This is Wilkerson. Fouled underneath, looks like Irving.
Here you see the doctor isolated on the side. Look at him take the ball back. Looks like he was going to go behind his back, but he makes a nice, typical Dr. J move.
1:13 to go, first period. We're tied at 26 with Bobby Wilkerson on the line. (27-26). Wilkerson with his second shot coming up. And it falls.
Bobby Wilkerson's a very versatile player. He plays guard and forward. And, you know, it's something else that Indiana, he didn't really shoot that much, but they're finding out now that he's a very fine shooter.
Cavaliers leading Detroit 30-23 first period. Irving can't handle a rebound. Price keeps it alive, and a foul underneath. And a bounce pass to Lagarde. It looks like Joe Bryant. Denver with Lagarde, Wilkerson, Bo Ellis, Jim Price, and Anthony Roberts in the game for Philadelphia. McGinnis comes in for Julius Erving, and they have Joe Bryant, Lloyd Free, Steve Mix, and Darrell Dawkins.
Lagarde is a player they've been very happy with. He had a knee injury in college and had to sit out sometime. That left leg, he's got scars all up and down, but he's quite a physical player, and around the basket 10 to 15 feet, he's a very good shooter.
Tom Lagarde, the number 1 pick for the Denver Nuggets from North Carolina, bothered by knee problems that go back to his senior year in college, hasn't really gotten untracked here as a rookie. Lloyd Free, hot hand recently for the 76ers. McGinnis, Bryant on the rebound. Loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul, number 35, Tom Lagarde, his second.
Here you can see the offensive boards, and McGinnis and Bryant hanging in there and getting second shots at the basket. Actually, they've gotten a number this game, and Denver cannot allow it. As a matter of fact, they've had 6 offensive rebounds. They've gone to the line twice on those.
Lagarde picks up the foul on the play. He's got 2 now. 38 seconds to go. You see the score from Washington. George McGinnis a little unhappy at the miss.
He's missing some free throws. I'm sure he's not too pleased with that, but I can't imagine trying to shoot a ball that must feel like a baseball. The hands some of these people have.
Price for Denver.
Well, you see Big Darrell coming out and say, no, not this time, and wipes that baby away.
Darrell Dawkins, just 21 years of age. That's frightening, the kind of play.
Listen, I don't think he ever was a kid. He is so big and strong. Whoa.
Denver inbounds. This is Price. Just 20 seconds remaining here in the first period. Thompson. Price can't drop it. Bryant finally rebounding. Technical foul being charged to Larry Brown as the 76ers brought it up court. Larry Brown had some comments evidently for Earl Strom.
The Sixers are a very fine rebounding team. And Billy Cunningham mentioned before the game, they just haven't been out-rebounded much lately. They're averaging 48.8 rebounds a game, and a lot of those do come on the offensive board, which means they're getting more than one shot at the basket.
Steve Mix made the technical, and it's 29-27, Denver on the lead. 76ers ball. The 13th technical foul for Larry Brown that moves him 1 ahead of Billy Cunningham in that department. Again, it's at the buzzer, and nothing drops. Denver will take a 2-point lead into the second period. At the end of 1, the Denver Nuggets 29, the Philadelphia 76ers 27.
Whatever you want, I don't know who's going to argue with it.
Free brings it up. We've got Free and Bryant for Philadelphia. McGinnis, Dawkins, and Steve Mix. Dawkins misses. Tip in is good.
Once again, offensive rebounds, Tim, and Denver cannot allow that. The Sixers getting in there for too many of them.
Wilkerson, Roberts, Lagarde, Bo Ellis, and Jim Price for Denver. Price. Bank shot misses. McGinnis. Intercepted by Wilkerson. Anthony Roberts off the front rim. McGinnis again. 76ers dominating the board. George McGinnis watched by Ellis. Bryant.
Passing by Joe Bryant.
31-29. Remember, coming up at halftime, you'll see our special edition of Horse. Doug Collins will be in that against Bingo Smith of Cleveland. Also the Greek Grapevine. Price outside and good. Tied at 31. 10:35 remaining, second period. Philadelphia has 17 rebounds to Denver's 12. Dawkins would not be denied.
Well, finally he dunked the ball. Of course, he loves to do that. He has a dunk necklace on, and he's got a number of them. And that one was left-handed. He loves to dunk left-handed, even though he is right-handed.
Wilkerson and Dawkins way up there to rebound. Boyd, three. Roberts on the rebound for Denver. Wilkerson brings it up. Bo Ellis, and he travels. No basket, he travels.
Here you see big Daryl Dawkins getting ready at the set play with a screen coming off, and Bryant has the ball. He gives it off to Dawkins, and look at this left-handed dunk.
We've got a timeout, 33-31, Philadelphia. Comedian Billy Crystal against Aaron Moran on the obstacle course. Should be a lot of fun. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday night, here on CBS. 9:53 remaining, second period. Philadelphia leading by 2, 33-31. They have the ball. Sixers in blue, Denver in white. Dawkins guarded by Issel.
31, coming up, got the arm.
Bo Ellis committing the foul, and it'll be Dawkins on the line. Just setting the teams for you again. In come Bobby Jones and David Thompson. Out go Bo Ellis and Anthony Roberts for Denver. Max Calvin, Jim Price are the guards. Issel is back in at center. For Philadelphia, Dawkins, Bryant, Freed, McGinnis, and Steve Mix. Foul foul against McGinnis. His second. Nobody in any serious foul trouble as yet on either team. Bobby Jones. Dan Issel. Issel's been hot for Denver in recent games. Goaltending charge. Thompson's basket is good.
Well, you can see the ball hits the rim. Of course, it's hanging on the rim, and George gets a little over-anxious, and of course, it's two.
Talking about Dan Issel, he's averaged 26.5 points in his last 4 games. The 26 Friday night against Houston. Denver brings it down. Calvin. Thompson.
The Nuggets running the break very nicely, and of course, the best time to run the break is when you steal the ball going the other way. You can see George lays the ball off, but to the wrong team, and of course, Matt Calvin advances. David Thompson follows up very nicely.
Denver leads by 1. Minutes remaining here in the first half. The Nuggets 35, Philadelphia 34. 4 of the 76ers bomb squatters in there, off the bench along with George McGinnis. David Thompson with 15 points for Denver. He has scored 6 consecutive from the floor. Joe Bryant underneath for Philadelphia, turning and can't make it. Issel rebound.
Denver's slowing the ball up. They want to take their breaks when they're there, but they don't really want to get in an all-out running game with Philly.
Thompson, Jones, Issel, Calvin, and Price for Denver. Issel.
Woo. There's some contact on that. They called the first foul before Issel ran over Bryant. You can see Dan Issel coming into the laner, and of course they say he got hit by Daryl Dawkins before he ran over Bryant. Issel, you know, is pretty mobile for a big guy, and he can go both ways and get into the basket.
Sprained a knee on Wednesday night against Buffalo, and you can see he's wearing a little protection cord today, a little support. Look at this one. Celtics 27, Golden State 24 first period. And we're going to find out about John Havlicek at halftime here on CBS. Apparently expected to announce his retirement at the end of the season. 15 years in the NBA. Issel has Denver in front, 37-34.
Philly doing a pretty fair job on Issel so far, and I think Issel must get more offensive-minded the rest of the second quarter for the Nuggets to get back and continue to play.
Bobby Jones stepping into Lloyd Freed draws a foul. 8:14 remaining in the first half. Tim Ryan and John McLaughlin to Denver. It's been a real good ball game. Nuggets by 3. Collins back in for the 76ers, number 20. This is Stockton. Turnaround jumper short. That's Price rebounding. Back Calvin. Good play. Calvin on his own rebound, beating Jones underneath.
Well, Matt Calvin, of course, he can shoot that shot. A lot of players that wouldn't be a good shot for. Of course, he follows up his shot, makes the play, and a layup is the best thing you can ask for.
Denver by 5, and there you see the Lakers by 3 at Washington. Dawkins stuffing. Foul called Dan Issel.
Foul on number 44, Dan Issel. His second, team third.
I wonder if that was the one he calls the basic in-your-face double bump dunk, and you know what the bump's for.
Like you said, he can call it anything he wants.
Here you see Free putting the ball up. He can go up pretty high also the miss, but once again an offensive rebound, and Dawkins gets it in here. It's dangerous.
39-37, Denver by 2. David Thompson. Holloway over to Calvin in the corner. McGinnis rebounding. Lloyd free. Look at him jump.
That's his type of shot. He can jump over people. He arches the ball so high. Person has a good opportunity to go in, but there are very few people that put the ball up that high.
You had to arch yours a little higher because you couldn't jump that high, right?
That's right. This is a nice move by Dan Issel. Of course, he's becoming more mobile off the ball now, and he moves away from the ball into the lane area. Once he gets it in there, he can do a lot of things with it.
Dan Issel, real leader on this team. We had the chance to chat with him last evening, and concerned about the Brian Taylor situation and just hoping they can keep things going here. They're still in first place. They've got a lot of talent on this club, but they're playing one under the roster with Taylor out of there. They've only got 10 players. Taylor's arbitration discussions continue on the 19th of February. 6:43 remaining. 42-39 Denver. Dawkins.
Well, that's nothing more than an old pick and roll. As you look at Larry Brown yelling something out there. It's pick and roll. Of course, teams used to use that a lot. They don't use it as much now, but it worked very well then.
Nuggets by 1. David Thompson. Loose ball foul charged against George McGinnis. Third one for McGinnis.
Well, once again, this is a play that they run to try to throw the lob in the dunk, and they do it a number of ways. That time it was a double screen, but it didn't go down all in the free throw.
76ers rebound on the miss. Dawkins top of the key.
Now, that's a forced shot. He really shouldn't take that type of shot.
Price got the air ball. Here's Jones. Tommy Jones. Good pass from Calvin. 44-41 Denver.
The Nuggets really running better than Philly, and we didn't really expect that.
Back Calvin, a backcourt foul against Lloyd Free.
Anthony Roberts now in for the Nuggets.
The Nuggets actually they've scored 14 points on the break. The 76ers 8. So I'm sure the Sixers don't consider that a desirable situation and will want to change.
Lloyd Free will go to the line on the backcourt foul. 5:51 remaining here in the half. Substitutions by both Larry Brown of Denver, Billy Cunningham of Philadelphia. Price and Calvin go out. Bobby Wilkerson, Anthony Roberts back in for Denver. Dr. J, number 6, back in the lineup for Philadelphia. Buffalo by 2 over Atlanta, first period, 26-24. Free makes them 44-43 here in Denver.
Both clubs will be in the bonus on the next foul.
Price can't get a shot or a pass. It's stolen by Doug Collins. Irving travels.
You can certainly credit Jimmy Price with some fine defense. Dr. J gets the ball in the lane area, but look at Price step in there. And of course, people here feel like it should have. The doctor got a little carried away on that. He was a little upset about it. He felt that Jimmy Price should have been a block. See Mix coming over trying to play the passing lane, but he got a little bit too much arm. You can't do that, big guy.
David Thompson at the line for Denver, and the Nuggets lead by 1. Coming up at halftime, Horse with Doug Collins against Bingo Smith. And the Greek grapevine, along with a report from the Andy Williams San Diego Open. Young Jay Ha is still the leader, last report. And we'll have a special report from Boston on the status of John Havlicek, what his plans for the future are. 46-43 Denver. Bobby Thompson, 17 points now. Steve Mix, top of the key. And it drops the hard way.
Well, you won't see Mix take that shot real often. He's better inside, but I guess he decided it was time to get a shot up.
Denver by 3, 48-45. Dr. J, top of the key. 3 turnaround jumper. Beauty.
Now that was a set play with 3. He went down low, and they came down, set a screen for him. He came off. Denver came through it very nicely, but 3 put up a tough shot and went in.
Nobody's been able to open this game up. We have a 1-point margin. Denver 48-47. I think the largest margin's been 5 points. Thompson.
The Sixers trying to push Thompson outside, and they're trying to kind of help on the zone away from the ball and still kind of stay in the area of their man. But David has the ability to shoot the ball from outside, as you can see.
David Thompson now 21. Third leading scorer in the NBA. Here's a steal. Wilkerson as Price got his hands on the pass. Wilkerson rises as a layup, and look at where he landed. On the back of Dawkins.
Dawkins feels that should have gone the other way a little bit. Here you see the steal. Price goes over and double teams. Denver does it very well. Wilkerson takes it behind his back. He can handle the ball. Lays it up. Was Dawkins there?
Was he there? So Wilkerson with a chance at a 3-point play. 52-47 Denver. Caldwell Jones comes in for Darryl Dawkins. There's Jones, number 11. Bo Ellis back into the game for Denver. Wilkerson ready now to shoot. Welcome to the fans that have just joined us here in Denver. It's 53-47 for the Denver Nuggets. They're in white against the Philadelphia 76ers in blue. We've got 3:50 remaining here in the first half. Tim Ryan and John McLaughlin with NBA action on CBS. Joe Bryant guarded by Bo Ellis. And an offensive foul call.
The Nuggets doing a very fine job of tightening up their defense and going the other way. You can see here Bo Ellis, the rookie, doing a good defensive job holding position, keeping his vertical air rights, going straight up, drawing the foul.
Denver calls timeout with 3:44 to go here in the first half. And the story so far has been David Thompson with 21 points, and we still have 3:44 remaining first half. Denver leads it. For a report on the Los Angeles Lakers-Washington Bullets game, let's go now to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson in Landover, Maryland.
Welcome to those of you watching Denver, Philadelphia. You're watching the time run out on the first half. It's 62-51. The Lakers with their biggest lead of the game over the Bullets. It's been a tough physical game here in Landover, Maryland. Nixon dueling right. Dandridge has scored 15 in the first half for Dick Motta. Forces one that time. Knocked out of bounds. The Bullets retain possession. Now, the Bullets have out-rebounded the Lakers 34-13. Keith Erickson, hard to believe that Kareem, who is getting his second rest, has only 1 rebound in the first half.
It's really hard to believe that Kareem, 7'2", can only get 1 rebound. 4 seconds to go. Henderson puts up a nice shot.
And that's the end of the first half. 62-53. The Lakers lead the Bullets. We've got a big halftime coming up for you. Force, Bingo Smith.
And welcome back to Denver. I'm Tim Ryan with John McLaughlin, former Milwaukee Bucks star, where we've got a ball game starting to open up a little bit in favor of Denver. 55-49. The 76ers in blue with Doug Collins on the line. Closes the gap to 5. Denver up by 8 momentarily, the largest lead in the game.
Denver scored 15 points on 12 Philly turnovers, which means Philly must be a little bit more cautious with the basketball.
David Thompson along the baseline, gets underneath, and what a move he made on Irving. The Sixers thought he traveled, but the officials did not. 57-50, 2:53 remaining in the first half. Three cut off by Price along the baseline. Collins, 57-52.
Here you see the play by Thompson. He just jumps back in and makes a very difficult shot.
Thompson driving, and it's poked away by Joe Bryant. Here come the 76ers. Irving flying in there on a feed from 3, 57-54. And a terrific first half. We have had some really spectacular scoring plays, John.
Well, that's what the Sixers must do. That's their game. They're best when they run, make the other team turn the ball over. They haven't done it as well this half as I'm sure they would like.
David Thompson with 23 points. Wilkerson.
Well, I mentioned earlier he can shoot the basketball, and I really wasn't aware of it watching him at Indiana, but he's got nice range, and he can put it up from 20, 25 feet out.
Approaching the 2-minute mark. Lloyd free. Tip-in try by Bryant, missed, but it's Caldwell Jones cutting it to 3 points. We're under 2 minutes. David Thompson has been the main man here in the first half. Anthony Roberts, the rookie. Bryant on the rebound. Collins, good catch. Collins. 59-58.
Well, Doug Collins gets hot. Look out. He can put it up from all over. And once you start trying to play him for that jump shot, he can go to the basket as good as anyone.
Well, it's no surprise we've had the exciting game we've had, all these brilliant scoring plays. We've got 4 All-Stars in this game, Irving and Collins for Philadelphia. You'll see Doug Collins in our horse game at halftime. David Thompson, Bobby Jones, All-Stars for Denver, and there is Doug Collins doing his thing.
Well, I said he can do so many things, and he'll go to the basket. He's the master at going to the basket, body control, and putting up a difficult shot like he did that time.
Thompson and Irving are a matchup at the top of the game. Thompson outscoring him 12-2 in this quarter as Dan Issel drops one.
Here you see Doug pointing, give me a screen, give me a screen. He gets a little bump, and look at him go all the way and just flip it up.
22nd injury.
Sure makes it look awful easy. Philadelphia takes the 22nd injury timeout. Joe Bryant getting some assistance from the trainer. We've got 46 seconds to play here in the first half.
Well, I think that's just kind of a planned time. With 46 seconds to go, they had not taken their 22nd. Kind of gives Billy an opportunity to say, well, let's do 10R, he says, whatever that is.
The 10R timeout,
The 10R.
then, is it?
You know, that's one reason these 20-second timeouts were put into effect. The Celtics used to use them very nicely. Sam Jones, I recall, he would call a 20-second timeout about 4 a quarter, and they would get a little extra planning in at that time, so they put in this rule.
Good ball game at the half in Boston, 52-49. Warriors on top. 40 seconds to play here in the first half in Denver. Caldwell Jones. Collins, he's hot. 62-61. So the Sixers, who trailed by 8, now lead by 1, and that's 17 points for Collins.
It shows you how explosive the Sixers are. They got right back in this game very quickly.
Fans trying to bring the Nuggets alive for the final seconds here. Foul underneath. Caldwell Jones, the guilty party. That's his first. In the penalty situation, Dan Issel will be the shooter.
Issel gets the ball in there. He's very aware of trying to put a fake on Caldwell Jones because he knows, I'm sure, that Caldwell Jones is a great shot blocker. He had 200 of them last year and finished 5th in the league.
Dan Issel, 26 points against Houston Friday night. That ties it at 62. We've got 13 seconds remaining here in the first half in a very well-played basketball game between 2 of the top teams in the NBA. Issel has Denver in front. 12 seconds left as Free brings it up. Free, Jones, Bryant, Collins, and Irving for the Sixers. And Jim White pushing foul.
Earl, I'm not sure I agree with you on that one. I think Jimmy was playing good position basketball. A lot of times they'll say he stick his leg out, but you judge for yourself. Jimmy's a good defensive player. Now, you can see the three just seemed to fall to the floor. I'm not really sure I agree with that call.
Earl Strom made it. We've got 6 seconds remaining here on the half with 3 at the line. Bobby Jones comes in for Issel. Stay tuned for Doug Collins against Bingo Smith on our horse game at halftime. Jimmy the Greek. Special report on John Havlicek and word from the Andy Williams San Diego Open. Young Jay Haas, former All-American golfer leading that tournament. Gene Littler right behind, and several others is very close. We're tied at 63, and Free has Philadelphia in front. 5 seconds left. Collins breaks up the pass to Thompson.
Denver did something very interesting that time. It is legal. They jumped Jones out of bounds. Lagarde threw it to him, out of bounds across the way, trying to get it in on the other side. That is legal.
Billy Cunningham furious, thinking the ball should be Philadelphia's, and Earl Strom talking to Billy Cunningham. It's Denver ball with 4 seconds left. Calvin, Thompson, buzzer sounded. There'll be no basket. It doesn't drop anyway. And we have got ourselves a ball game here. At halftime, the Philadelphia 76ers, coming from 8 back, lead it by 1, 64 to 63.
5 misses means 5 letters. That spells horse, and he's out.
Today, Bingo Smith versus Doug Collins. With the rules, here's Mendy Rudolph.
The basic rules of horse are as follows. The player in control must describe his shot beforehand. Now, 2 consecutive shots from the same area are not allowed unless someone moves at least 5 feet away. There are trick shots allowed. However, the same trick shot cannot be attempted more than once in the contest. The flip of the coin will determine who goes first. Now, there's going to be disputes out there, and if there are, my word will be the final judge.
Good luck, Bingo. Thanks, bro.
Doug Collins won the toss, and will call the first shot.
Bingo Smith has to match that, and the first letter goes up.
We have an H.
Straight through.
Call your shot, Bingo.
1 dribble straight in.
And Bingo makes it work now as he has the advantage.
An H for Doug Collins.
We're even up at a letter apiece.
Call the shot, Bingo.
Straight in, jump shot.
That's Bingo's big shot. They say in Cleveland he can hit it outside the local area code. 2 letters up on Collins, and Bingo Smith still with the advantage, ready to call his shot.
Jump shot across the middle off the wrong leg.
How about all that?
Misses.
Collins gets...
Take it under with my right hand, swing to my left, and shoot a bank shot on this side. Okay?
You got that, Bingo?
I'll watch it.
Let's watch it.
All you can do is watch it, and Doug Collins makes it go. A tough shot to match.
That's a miss anyhow. Didn't switch hands. Bingo Smith
So
gets
we
the
are
nose.
now even up at 2 letters on each player.
Doug Collins in the lead will call the shot.
I'm gonna drive baseline, shoot a 360 and bank on this side. All right?
What's gonna do?
I'm gonna drive the baseline, shoot like a 360 and bank on this side.
Doug Collins was the #1 player drafted in the NBA back in 1973 out of Illinois State.
Miss. Bingo takes over.
Straight jump shot out the corner.
Bingo can fill it up from the outside. He's an original Cleveland Cavalier. Dates back to the first season of that team.
Miss.
And now he puts up a 3rd letter on Doug Collins.
Call your shot, Bingo.
Straight jump shot.
And now Doug Collins is a letter away from elimination.
Hook shot.
Collins will call.
Straight.
We're coming to you from the Omni International Complex in Atlanta.
A letter for Smith.
4 letters to 3. Doug Collins still with the advantage, and he needs to hit this.
Bingo.
Straight jump shot.
Bingo can close out Doug Collins now with a letter to go, and there's his big shot. That will do it.
Game, Bingo.
Bingo Smith of the Cleveland Cavaliers
He eliminates All-Pro Doug Collins of the Philadelphia 76ers from this horse competition first-round play. Now let's meet Bobby Bingo Smith of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Bobby, you've won a lot of games for the Cavs with that long jump shot, and that's what ultimately got Doug Collins.
I'm glad I did. He's a very talented ball player, and I was very fortunate he missed some shots that he normally makes.
Well, we're going to see you in that jump shot, that long jump shot for years and the rounds to come.
I hope so.
All right, Bobby Smith of the Cleveland Cavaliers. A loser in the first round receives $500. The winner, of course, advances. And next week, you'll be watching Mike Newland of Houston against George Gervin of San Antonio.
Contend with here in the second half. Keep those big guys off the boards.
Philadelphia to our left in blue. Denver to our right in white. Doug Collins brings it up. Collins and Bibby in the backcourt. Caldwell Jones, Julius Irving, George McGinnis up front. For Denver, Bobby Jones, David Thompson up front, and Calvin steals number 20. He's in the backcourt with Bobby Wilkerson. Calvin all the way. Can't stop it. Rebound, McGinnis. Dan Issel is the center for the Denver Nuggets. Irving. Had 3 tries at it, made it on the third.
Once again, offensive rebounds, and of course, the Sixers just going one-on-one. Denver defensively, they try to force to the corners a little bit and get help from the weak side.
Earl Strom and Mike Mathis are officials today. David Thompson fouled for an offensive foul.
Here you see the doctor, a little one-on-one spin inside. Now look at this, he overlays, he almost gets it back himself. Then he gets a little help from Jones, and Doctor standing right there to lay it in for an easy 2.
4 All-Stars in this ball game today. Collins and Irving for Philadelphia. Bobby Jones, David Thompson for Denver. Issel breaks up the play, and he got stepped on coming down. Comes down the floor in some pain. Calvin underneath. Nice play. Calvin.
Credit Dan Issel with some good defensive play. That was a set play, and he stepped out, took it away from them, forced him inside, and made him put up a difficult shot.
Issel signaling to Larry Brown, I'm all right, but there's a grimace on his face. He plays hurt. That's Doug Collins. 20-second injury timeout called for the benefit of Dan Issel. 68-65, Philadelphia in front.
Well, he's had some knee problems. We don't really know at this point what exactly it is. If it is that knee or not, they're not really looking at anything in particular.
They'll have to carry him out. That's the kind of player he is. He'll go till he cannot go any longer. Great star at the University of Kentucky and a real team leader on the Nuggets. Detroit in front of Cleveland, 62-60 now in the third. Thompson tried to get it inside to Issel.
Foul is on number 11, Caldwell Jones.
Caldwell Jones picks up the foul.
You see a set play, actually. Issel's standing there, and of course Thompson pops out, and he tries to get the ball back into Issel, but you can see Jones hanging on.
Denver ball, Mac Calvin. Watched closely by Henry Bibby, right inside his jersey. David Thompson off the back rim. Bibby rebounds. Dr. J. McGinnis. Thompson comes down with it.
A little sloppy right there. No one really could hang on to the ball. Now, the Sixers, they've made a change here. They've taken Doug Collins, put him over on David Thompson. A little defensive switch.
Ladies and gentlemen, today
It'll be Denver ball with 9:49 remaining third period. 76ers 68, the Denver Nuggets 65. 9:49 remaining third period here. 68-65 Philadelphia. Welcome to the fans that have just joined us here in Denver. The Nuggets are in white. The Sixers are in blue with the score 68-65 Philadelphia. Here in the third period, 9:35 remaining now. Wilkerson. Bobby Wilkerson from the foul line. Good inside move, popping it up. Henry Bibby. Irving trying to get it to McGinnis. Bad pass out of bounds. It'll be Denver ball. Philadelphia continues to lead by 1. Wilkerson brings it up. Mac Calvin, Bobby Jones. Hooks Jones. Caldwell Jones. Sixers by 1 with 9:04 remaining, third period. Collins. Doug Collins opens the margin to 3 for Philadelphia. Wilkerson misses. It's rebounded by Collins. Doug Collins, number 20. Bibby jumper. Issel on the rebound for Denver, and they're going end-to-end. Wilkerson. Jones tried to get it out to Calvin. Ran into Caldwell Jones, and the ball went out of bounds. It'll be Philadelphia ball.
The game's just a little sloppy right now. Neither club really putting the ball in, and they're turning the ball over somewhat, and it's hurt the Sixers here early in this third quarter.
David Thompson, the story of the first half. 23 points for Denver. Leading vote-getter on the West team. McGinnis underneath. 72-67, 5-point lead for Philadelphia, their largest of the game so far.
The Sixers really don't run a complicated offense. They do a lot of clearing out and let all those great talented players go one-on-one and do whatever they want.
Calvin found room and then went to Wilkerson with it. Jump ball is called.
Well, that was a good call by Earl Strom. Bobby Wilkerson went up, looked like he wanted to perhaps dunk it, but he took the ball back, and of course that allowed the Sixers to block it.
Why didn't Calvin shoot here?
Well, I guess he saw Jones coming over and Wilkerson wide open, and you saw the double pump.
Denver controlled the tap, and it's Issel on the rebound of the shot by Bobby Jones. 72-69 Philadelphia. Wilkerson with 15 points, brought an 11.5 average into the game for Denver. Another jump ball called as Henry Bibby went up. This is a slight mismatch.
That'll teach those little guys. Here you go. Bibby goes in there. I'm sure all he sees would be belt buckles at this point. That'll teach him to get in there in the land of the Giants.
Jones, as you might expect, won a 3-on-1. Calvin. And it's broken up by Caldwell Jones as Calvin again electing to feed it off. And Detroit in front of Cleveland by 4. The third period. We'll keep you apprised of all the action around the NBA today in our CBS coverage. The Denver timeout is called. 7:32 remaining in a most exciting game at the McNichols Sports Arena in Denver. The 76ers lead at 72-69. For a report on the Cleveland Cavaliers Detroit Pistons game, let's go now to Don Crickey and Mendy Rudolph in Detroit.
We'd like to welcome the fans who have just joined us here in Detroit. The Pistons are in white, the Cleveland Cavaliers in maroon and gold. The score is Detroit 74, Cleveland 72 with 4:40 to play in the third quarter. In this game, the Detroit Pistons jumped out to a 13-point first quarter lead. Annexed that lead again after Detroit came back and had another 13-point lead, but Detroit cut it to 2 at the half. And then Bob Lanier hitting shot after shot in the third quarter has brought Detroit to the front, but now Elmore Smith, the 7-foot center of the Cavaliers, has a chance to tie the game. If he can hit his 8th point of the game, he cannot. It's still a 1-point lead now for Detroit as they have the ball with 4:25 to go in the third quarter.
Welcome back to Denver. I'm Tim Ryan with John McLaughlin, and here in Denver, the Nuggets have just regained the lead on baskets by Dan Issel and Bobby Jones. 73-72, Denver leads at 6:40 remaining third period. Doug Collins going to the basket and scoring, and it's 74-73, a seesaw battle that has been just as dandy from the opening tap. 23 points for Doug Collins now as David Thompson hits. 25 for Thompson, 23 for Doug Collins. Two of the All-Stars you'll see on February 5th in the All-Star game here on CBS. Along with Julius Erving and Bobby Jones, and of course the coach of the East will be Billy Cunningham, our former analyst. The Lakers in front of Washington, 78-68, a 10-point gap for the Lakers in the third. Philadelphia will inbound, and it's Caldwell Jones to George McGinnis. The doctor underneath. Rejected by Thompson, but called goaltending. The basket is good.
Two great leapers here. You see in isolation. You see Dr. J getting it in the lane. When he gets in there, it should be, too. Of course, David Thompson goes very high, but that was goaltending.
76-75, Philadelphia. Looping pass for Issel, and that's goaltending. Caldwell Jones. Issel's basket count, 77-76 Nuggets.
That is the third straight very nice pass setting up baskets by Bobby Wilkerson. He can pass the ball as well as shoot.
Look at that one. Collins to Dr. J. He was up near the clock above the backboard. 78-77. Knocked out of bounds by Collins. It'll be Denver ball.
Well, here you see again, as I mentioned earlier, Collins over on David Thompson. Apparently they wanted more quickness on Thompson, feeling that perhaps would help him pull him up.
Dan Issel from the corner. 79-78. Both these clubs shot nearly 54% in the first half. 19 points for Issel, who had only 2 points in the first period. He's been hot in recent games, averaging 26.5 over the last 4 games. Foul call. David Thompson.
Well, here you see David Thompson coming up to play defense, and of course he is a good defensive player, but he leaned a little bit into the Doctor. Doctor putting the pressure on him offensively.
First team foul in this period for Denver. McGinnis. Oh, what a shot, George McGinnis.
Of course, that's George's shot. You know, he takes a lot of bad percentage shots by the average player, but George has done it so long, it's good percentage to him.
Makes a high percentage of low percentage shots. Issel. McGinnis clears. Collins. 20 feet.
Well, Doug Collins is so tough. I only fouled out 3 times in my pro career, and 2 of them were on Doug Collins. I told him I have to hang on to you, Doug. I can't keep up with you any other way.
You sure understand it. Bobby Jones can't do it. Loose ball foul. It's on Collins. Collins caught it. Mike Mathis. So that's call.
But here you see Collins trying to keep Thompson away from the basket. You can see he just pushed right under. And, of course, it looked like Dr. J could have been hurt on that, but he caught himself.
Max Calvin, number 20. Thompson, Wilkerson, Issel, and Jones for Denver. Calvin has it. Collins, Irving, McGinnis, Bibby, Caldwell Jones to Philadelphia.
We have Thompson isolated here. This is a mismatch, and of course the Nuggets know it. Bibby holding his position very well, draws the foul.
4th personal foul against David Thompson, and he'll get a rest. Jim Price will come in for him. Well, we've got a World Heavyweight Championship fight coming up for you here on CBS in prime time, Wednesday, February 15th. Muhammad Ali against Olympic champion Leon Spinks. Along with a full card of exciting boxing action. Dr. J hit. Anthony Roberts, cut off by Irving, goes to the basket but missed. Caldwell Jones on the rebound and off Roberts out of bounds.
Now with the score 84-79, the 76ers with DT David Thompson on the bench, this is a very fine opportunity for the Sixers to really apply the pressure and try to open up the lead.
Jones covered by Issel, top of the key. Dr. J against Anthony Roberts. Jones got over there to get a piece of it. Bobby Jones. Price, Bobby Jones. Beautiful basket.
Bobby Jones keys it at the other end. He comes over to help out defensively, blocks the shot, and then he gets in on the break. He's the trailer. Here you see him coming over, blocking the shot. Issel gets the rebound. Now they kick it out. Now Price advances the ball very nicely. You see Jones trailing, and then he turns on the speed. Price makes a nice pass and a possible 3-point play.
4th personal against George McGinnis. He and Thompson, the only 2 in any kind of serious foul trouble so far. And a score in now from Indiana, where New Orleans, a hot club of late, has a big lead over the Pacers in the 4th period. Jazz have really been playing the music lately.
Well, Pistol Pete on that team, you know, they can put a lot of points on quickly.
84-82 here, Philadelphia. Thompson sitting on the bench with 4 fouls. McGinnis has gone to the Philadelphia bench with 4, and that's Doug Collins. He has scored every possible way today.
Wonder if he shoots those shots in Horace, he ought to bring a lot of those out, huh?
Wilkerson turned away by Bibby. Outside it's Price. Roberts. Caldwell Jones is knocked away by Wilkerson. It'll be Sixers ball.
Doug Collins again going baseline, and he goes baseline very nicely. The Nuggets try to give help, but look at that flip. He's completely behind the backboard and flips it up very nicely.
27 points for Doug Collins, who's playing with an aggravated lower back injury. Doesn't seem to be affecting him at all today. 86-82, Philadelphia. Has committed 17 turnovers, John, that led to 21 Denver points. Denver, contrarily, 10 turnovers, leading to only 7 Philadelphia points. But the Sixers lead it by 4, 86-82. Air ball taken by the Denver Nuggets. Anthony Roberts. Wilkerson underneath.
Wilkerson again on a very nice pass, and of course the Nuggets run so well. They really run the lanes well, but they also find their trailers on the fast break. The trailers can get a lot of points.
Issel with 21 points. He's coming on like gangbusters here. Started in the second period, kept it going here in the third. Foul call.
Bobby Wilkerson gets the ball on the side, but Issel actually was a trailer on this, coming a little bit behind. It goes right down the lane, and as I mentioned, those are the people that are open often.
Foul on Anthony Roberts, the rookie from Oral Roberts. Second leading scorer in the NCAA a year ago as a senior. Irving can't do it. Still having some problems, although he's scoring somewhat today. He's got 18 points, and that's not a bad afternoon, but the doctor still under his average. Having tough times lately. Wilkerson off the front iron. Got his own rebound. We're tied at 86.
Well, Bobby Wilkerson's having a fine game. He's doing a lot of things. Gets his own rebound back, and that time lays it up left-handed. Kind of flipped it up soft but high enough that if they did block it, it would be a goal kick.
17 points for Wilkerson. Doug Collins baseline. Irving helps him out. Irving follows. 88-86. Larry Brown slightly upset.
He's very upset. He thought Doug Collins traveled, and obviously a lot of the fans here felt the same way.
Denver and white, Sixers in blue. Dark screens on your television set if you're dark the shirts on your screen if you're watching in black and white. Bo Ellis tied at 88.
Well, that was a mix-up there. The Sixers got mixed up. They were watching the ball, not really paying attention to their people off the ball, and Bo Ellis just stepped in for an easy layup.
Bo Ellis out of Marquette, acquired from Washington for a #1 draft pick. Ball out of bounds out Denver. Tom Lagarde comes in for Dan Issel. We've got Lagarde, Ellis, Anthony Roberts, Jim Price, and Bobby Wilkerson for Denver. Henry Bibby, Steve Mix now in for Philadelphia, Caldwell Jones, Julius Irving, and Lloyd Freeze. Henry Bibby. At the end of this basketball telecast, we'll be going out to San Diego for the Andy Williams San Diego Open live here on CBS. Last report, Jay Haas, the leader. We'll try and get an update for you as we go along. Gene Littler, crowd favorite, great veteran, still very much in contention, along with some other youngsters on the tour. Traveling call on Lagarde.
The Sixers attempting to pick up the pressure a little bit, and ideally Billy Cunningham wants them to play the passing lanes one pass away, but a lot of them don't do it. Sometimes they get a lackadaisical. Henry Bibby does it very well and applies the pressure.
Larry Brown on the sidelines hollering at the officials, Strom and Mathis. The traveling call against Lagarde. Henry Bibby. Irving way up to rebound, but it's knocked away, and a Denver foul. Jim Price. As Irving trying to control that rebound, fouled by Jim Price. There's Billy Cunningham, and Cunningham was tied with Larry Brown in technical fouls coming into this game. A little known statistic, perhaps. They each had 12. Brown's now taken the lead. Of course, they're all behind Kevin Lockery, the New Jersey Nets, who's got 21, and Don Nelson is second with 15.
They all happen to be ex-players. I wonder why that is.
Sixers ball. 10 seconds remaining in this third period. Free can't do it. Wilkerson rebounding. And at the end of the third period, Larry Brown right out there to talk to Earl Strom, make sure he hears him. And at the end of 3, a terrific basketball game. Philadelphia 90, Denver 88. Fourth quarter approaching. Tim Ryan and John McLaughlin here in Denver, Colorado. A terrific game, 90-88, 76 completed. Be sure and stay tuned for the MVP award at the conclusion of the game. And John, the way some of these players are going here today is going to be a very difficult choice.
Sure is. I don't know. Maybe something will happen in this fourth quarter that'll help us a little bit, Tim.
Up in Boston, the Celtics down in front of Golden State, 72-69. It is Denver ball here. Dan Issel back in the game. Issel, Thompson, Bobby Jones, Jim Price, Bobby Wilkerson for Denver. Jumper by Price. Won't go. This is Bibby. Bibby and free in the backcourt. Darryl Dawkins in for the Sixers with Steve Mix and Joe Bryant. For the bomb squad. Except for Bibby out there for the 76ers. Dawkins. 92-88.
That was the 19th offensive rebound for the Sixers. Denver advancing the ball back very quickly and getting a layup.
Issel right back the other way for Denver.
Here you see Dawkins on the offensive rebound, and he goes back up, knocks people off, and lays it in.
92-90, Philadelphia on the basket by Issel. Dawkins with 10 points. Issel with 23. Driving baseline is free. Ran into all kinds of traffic. Foul will be against Jim Price. Washington leading the Lakers by 3, 88-85 in the fourth period. Third personal against Jim Price in Denver.
Lloyd Free's been playing very well. Billy Cunningham has told us before the game. And now he's starting to apply a little offensive pressure. Going to the basket. He's gone to the basket twice now. This time he got to the line. I think perhaps he got fouled the other time. It was not called. But that's what you must do. Apply pressure to the defense.
Free, like his teammate Collins, playing hurt. He's got an ankle sprain. Collins with a lower back problem. Dan Issel playing with a sore knee. Bo Ellis also with cartilage problem in his right knee. Thompson driving. Joe Bryant on the foul.
Well, once again, that's a clear out for David Thompson. All the other players on the other side of the floor, and it was a double screen with players coming off of it. But really, it's a clear out for David, and it's very difficult for one player to play David Thompson.
Thompson with 4 fouls back in the game for Denver and on the line. Made 6 out of 7 from the free throw line so far, and he'll have another one.
The Sixers now, they're not really running the second half like they would like. They have no fast break the second half, while Denver, they have 8.
93-92. Bibby brings it up, the former UCLA star. Lloyd Free, 90, Guilford College in North Carolina. Bryant, offensive foul, and oh, look at this. And Joe upset. He said, hey, you got to be kidding, Earl. That's 5 on Bryant. Bibby picks it off. Steve Mix. Basket is good. 95-92. Steve Mix.
So you see the fast break, and of course, that's the first one the Sixers have had, and that was definitely a goaltend.
David Thompson sailing up there, but goaltending. Issel in traffic underneath, comes out to Bobby Jones. Oh. Free goes crawling. Wilkerson still has it. Blocked by Dawkins. Darryl Dawkins. Free, driving baseline, and it's 97-92. Philadelphia by 5. Timeout called by Denver. 9:47 remaining in regulation time, and Philadelphia has jumped into a 5-point lead here in Denver.
Here's a few tips on how to get out of an airport fast. 1, join the #1 club and reserve a car with Hertz. 2, have your license and credit card ready, because Hertz will be ready for you. 3, need directions? Ask Hertz. They know the shortest route. Nobody can get you out of an airport faster. Nobody can get you out of an airport faster.
Go, Juice! Go!
Rent a Ford from Hertz.
The superstar in rent-a-car.
Right.
of you are watching a good one in Denver. We've got an exciting contest in Landover. The Los Angeles Lakers have lost the lead to the Bullets. It's 100-95, the Bullets. The Lakers with the ball right now. I'm Brent Musburger along with Keith Erickson. Abdul-Jabbar scored 25, picking for Charlie Scott that time. And it has been a difference in rebounding. 49-19, the Bullets have out-rebounded the Lakers. It's Pace stuffed. 102-95, Bullets lead the Lakers.
Welcome back to Denver. This is Tim Ryan with John McLaughlin, Milwaukee Bucks star. We've got quite a game going. Traveling is called against Max Kelvin of Denver. Denver in white. Philadelphia in blue. It is 97-92. The Sixers lead by 5. 9:15 remaining regulation time.
Well, the Nuggets getting the ball back a couple of times there, but the Sixers tightening up that defense and making it much more difficult for the Nuggets to get a good shot.
Lloyd Free brings it up. Steve Nicks. Intercepted. Wilkerson. Wilkerson lost the ball.
He had his eyes on the basket. I think he was trying to get his steps together so he could dunk the ball, but his foot got in the way. Here you can see he's coming in, and it just goes right off the foot. That's when you turn around and walk away like, gee, I wonder what happened.
Am I embarrassed? Lloyd Freed. Over Kelvin, it's good. 99-92. Sixers, 10 points in this fourth period have come from the bomb squad. Mix, Dawkins, and Freed. David Thompson, top of the key over Collins. Sixers by 5. Cleveland leading Detroit 94-90 in the fourth period. Free, Mix, Irving, Dawkins, Collins for Philadelphia. Oh, and roll right across the top for Steve Mix. And it's blue ball, Philadelphia. Thompson, Issel, Bobby Jones, Max Calvin, Bobby Wilkerson, the starting 5 out there. Oh, basket is good for Doug Collins.
That's that quickness of Doug Collins again. You can never take your eye off of him. Even when you're watching him, you'll miss. You see Wilkerson on him, and he just goes inside. Bobby Wilkerson apparently thought, as he's seen push him behind for a possible 3, he apparently thought Collins was going to come off the other way for the jump shot.
3-point play for Collins. Second foul on Wilkerson. 30 points for Doug Collins. Collins now picks up the foul. Third foul on Collins. Saved by Wilkerson. Calvin, Thompson.
Foul is on number 21,
Lloyd Free picked up the Philadelphia foul, and it'll be Thompson shooting.
Well, that's the type of foul you really don't want to give up. David Thompson was pretty far out, shooting the jump shot. He can shoot, but still, you want to go up and apply pressure, but don't put him on the line.
102-94, Philadelphia leads it. Thompson with 30 points on that free throw. He'll have another. New Orleans continuing to roll. 107-91 over Indiana. That's the final. Thompson makes the second. It's 102-96. 6-point margin for Philadelphia. 7:35 remaining regulation time. Irving with 3 Nuggets around him. Reverse layup. 104-96. Thompson makes the basket. What a shot by David Thompson. What a circus this is to watch today. Great shooting.
They certainly trade off, and here you see the doctor going one-on-one. He gets in baseline. Now watch the weak side help. Bobby Jones, Dan Issel. But look at this. Boy, the advantage of long arms.
Thompson completes the 3-point play. 104-99. 4 fouls on Doug Collins. Thompson already has 4. Nobody with 5 as yet, I don't believe. Nope. He's next. Darryl Dawkins. The doctor. Way off the mark. It is Denver ball. 6:53 remaining regulation time.
Now, team foul situation. The 76ers have 4, so they will put, of course, the Nuggets into the bonus after this. The Nuggets only have 2, so that could be a factor in the game. For as aggressive as this game is, there have not been a lot of fouls called the second half.
George McGinnis up ready to come in for Philadelphia. 104-101 as the Nuggets scramble back. They were down 6. Philadelphia trailed by 8 in the second period. Nate went ahead. Free driving. Can't get the shot and can't make the pass. Denver ball.
It appears that the Nuggets trying to force baseline and then get a lot of weak side help, come back in the area, and that time it helped maybe the 76ers turn the ball over.
Billy Cunningham will talk to the troops on the sideline as Tim lead by 3. We have 6:19 remaining here in regulation time. Field 5 for 5 from the free throw line. That's about as perfect as you can get. And Thompson with 34 points on the game. Dan Issel. Jim Price. Thompson closely covered by Doug Collins. And that closest counter of the first kind cost Collins foul.
You see Doug Collins, he's trying to get in front, try to prevent the ball from coming into David. And, of course, they want to isolate David there, and, of course, they call the foul. A little too aggressive there, Doug.
5 fouls on Collins. And the 76ers are in the penalty. Coming up after our NBA telecast, we'll be going out to San Diego for the Andy Williams San Diego Open. (104-102). Sixers lead it. Thompson makes the free throw to cut it to 1. Knocked out of bounds by Calvin, who's been very aggressive defensively today. Max Calvin, number 20. Wilkerson comes in. Calvin gets the rest. 5:51 to go, regulation time. The All-Stars have been playing like All-Stars, and remember, we'll have that East-West battle for you February 5th here on CBS. Collins and Irving, Thompson and Bobby Jones. Billy Cunningham coaching the East. Lloyd 3 bombing. McGinnis rebound. 106-103.
Well, the Nuggets trying to push the Sixers out into the outside jump shot, which they did, but when they get that offensive rebound and that second shot, that's too easy.
Thompson in the lane. That up a Herman. Davis, Thompson.
Here you see McGinnis. He's trying to get inside position, and the ball comes out. Bobby Jones can't hang on to it. Strength prevails.
106-105. Bibby in control for the Sixers now. Lloyd 3. McGinnis lost it. Jim Price stealing. Price to Issel.
Nice. Very nice play. And, of course, the double team. Bobby Jones deflected the ball. They come the other way. And by the defense, you can see the takeaway here. Bobby Jones deflected. Price brings it up the court. They get the break this way when you create the turnovers. But watch this pass. Fake, left-handed pass, nice.
You're listening to John McLaughlin describing that one for you. The Nuggets lead it now, 107-106, 4:53 to go.
Next Saturday,
Philadelphia in a penalty situation now, and we'll be watching that very closely. Right now, for a report on the Cleveland Cavaliers-Detroit Pistons game, let's go to Don Criqui and Mendy Rudolph in Detroit.
We again welcome the fans who have joined us here in Detroit. The Pistons are in white, the Cavaliers are in maroon and gold, and the score is Cleveland 100, Detroit 98. As we're heading down the stretch with 3:20 to play, Bob Lanier leads all scorers in the game with 27 points. And it's going to be a tight finish as with 3:21 to go, Cleveland holds to a 2-point advantage.
Welcome back to Denver. Tim Ryan and John McLaughlin here, a seesaw battle. The Nuggets lead it by 1.
But with only 4:53 remaining, strategies become very important. Timeout-wise, the 76ers have 3 remaining. The Nuggets have 2.
Philadelphia ball. 3, McGinnis. Dawkins, steal by Bobby Jones. Knocked away by Irving on the pass intended for Wilkerson. Back come the Sixers. Bibby. Good shot by Bibby, driving. 108-107. Sixers back in front. Billy Cunningham tensely looking on. His club leads by 1. Cunningham tensely looking on. His club leads by 1. Mix on his feet, ready to come in the game. We have Irving, Free, Bibby, Dawkins, and McGinnis for Philadelphia. David Thompson breaks on. Jones follow, can't make it. Dawkins on the rebound. Bobby Jones, David Thompson, Issel, Price, and Wilkerson for Denver. The Doctor banks it. 110-107. 4 minutes to go, fourth period. Crowd alive here at the Nichols Sports Arena. Two division leaders really going at it. Jones can't sink it. It's taken away by Free. McGinnis.
Well, that's the Sixers break at its best. Getting the rebound coming out. Of course, McGinnis making a very difficult shot. Now, the Nuggets can't let him get away anymore. They've got to close the gap.
5-point lead. Issel driving. Absolutely flat. McGinnis. The basket is good. Issel comes out of the stands limping as he collided with McGinnis. Picked up the foul. That's 5 on McGinnis. Quite a collision between two big men.
It's a lot of beat. Here you see the McGinnis basket coming up the court on the break. Now watch. He leads the way out. Wilkerson tried to take the block. No such luck.
Stop me if you can. 240 pounds each, Issel and McGinnis colliding on that last play. And here's the final for you. Golden State edging the Celtics 99-98 in Boston. Issel makes it, cutting the margin to 2 points. 112-110 Philadelphia, 3:20 to go. Collins. Good rebound by Wilkerson. Jones, it's on. We're tied.
Bobby Jones, so versatile. Many people think he's one of the best forwards in the game, perhaps the best if you're from Denver, but he made a fine pass that time.
30 points for Dan Issel. Thompson has 38. Collins with 30 for Philadelphia. 2:39 to play in regulation time. Dawkins. Foul call. Jim Price.
You see Wilkerson leaving his feet, leaving the floor, that is, gets inside to Bobby Jones, who makes a nice pass around to Dan Issel for an easy 2.
Third team foul against Denver this period.
Good call, Tim. He did travel on that. We had a good shot at it, and the fans like it.
What an awesome-looking figure he is, George McGinnis. That is an awesome-looking team, period.
You know, George McGinnis was that size in high school. Can you imagine the team he played on in Indiana?
2:25 to play. Regulation time. We're tied at 112. It has just been a thriller. David Thompson can't do it. McGinnis rebounding. Julius Irving, and he's got it going. Irving coming on. The Sixers in front by 2. 26 points. 6 points above his average now. He's been struggling the last few games. Maybe saving it for the big one against Denver today. Dan Issel.
Nuggets ran that very nicely. A set play for Issel. They bring Thompson high where he can go one-on-one, but Issel then moves into the lane and made a tough move back to his left again to make a layup.
Irving watched by Wilkerson, throws it away. Denver ball. Larry Brown off the bench to holler some instructions.
The Nuggets defensively really giving a lot of help, and they're really sagging on the weak side now, clogging the middle as much as they can to push the Sixers out.
Itzel, Wilkerson, Bobby Jones, Jim Price, David Thompson for Denver. DT. Dawkins rebounds and comes down with it hard, saying it's mine. Free can't get around Thompson. Denver ball.
Oh, Billy. He is upset about that call.
Offensive foul. Ooh, is he hot.
One thing that Billy should be very aware of, he doesn't want a technical at this point in the game. Well, let's take a look at it.
There's the
ball. Now, see, that hurt. Now, look at it again here. Well, I don't... I can't really see that that was a charge either. I would have to let that go. If nothing else, it would have been a traveling violation. But that technical really hurts Philadelphia at this time.
Billy Cunningham picks up the technical, his 13th of the season, moves him into a tie with Larry Brown for third place in that dubious department. We're tied at 114, 121 to go. Timeout has been called, and we are going to have some kind of wild finish here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little OT. Denver's been involved in a few of those lately. 4 of their last 10 home games they've been in overtime. They won 2 and lost 2.
Well, that's concentration right there, isn't it? He's down there really putting it on the floor. Get it right, fellas.
Coming up on CBS, the NBA All-Star Game, and you have been seeing these All-Stars here this afternoon, 4 of them, in fact. 1:45 Eastern Time, Sunday, February 5th. Billy Cunningham will coach the East. Irving and Collins for Philadelphia. David Thompson, Bobby Jones for Denver will be in that game. And, boy, the way they've been playing here today, I think they're going to have plenty of fun in the All-Star Game.
Billy Cunningham's going to be coaching. Of course, he was playing in that game not too long ago.
He asked Billy how he felt about it. He said, gee, it's hard to even think about it. So what can you say to a team full of all-stars in the locker room before you come out? He said, well, let's just go get them.
Let's play, fellas. Who do you like in that game?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Ridiculous,
yeah,
right?
it's hard to pick. They're so, we'll leave that to Jimmy the Greek, I guess. Well, this is going to be going right to the wire, as you might have expected when this game began. The widest margin has been 8 points. Denver held that margin. Thompson is shooting the technical, assessed against Cunningham. And Thompson went over to Steve Mix and said, thanks.
Hey, I think he saw one of his players there and Mix said, I'm not going to shake your hand for making that. Are you kidding me?
115 to 114. So we still have a little levity even in this tense situation. Wilkerson brings it up. Itzel, watched by Dawkins. I mean, watch. Thompson outside twice. Mix tips the rebound to Julius Irving. We're under a minute. Collins, 3, Mix, Irving, and McGinnis for Philadelphia. They trail by 1. Jones watching Mix. Dawkins guarded by Itzel. Basket count. Pushing foul on Itzel.
Well, here you see the ball going into the big fella, and he just moves around and turns, and Issel holding his hand straight up. And, of course, when the offensive player turns and goes into the basket, put the pressure on the defensive player. If they call a foul, in most situations, it will be on the defensive player.
Dawkins did not make the free throw. Denver not yet in the penalty situation. They have 4 team fouls. Sixers by 1. 38 seconds to go. Itzel top of the key. Watched by Dawkins. Goes to the corner. Wilkerson. Oh, won't go. Dawkins rebound. 19 seconds to go. Sixers by 1. 10 seconds left. Shot clock is out. That's all the time there is. And finally, Denver takes the foul. They had to. 7 seconds to go. Welcome to the fans from Washington that have just joined us for a thriller here in Denver. Where the 76ers lead 116 to 115. Philadelphia in blue and Denver in white, and the Lakers losing to Washington today. Another final score in. 7 seconds to go. Tim Ryan and John McLaughlin here, and we couldn't have asked, John, for a better ball game from two great teams.
Well, it's been an exciting game, that's for sure. Actually, Denver came up. They didn't get the type of shot that they should have. It was a forced shot by Bobby Wilkerson, but fine defensive play by the Sixers. So at the other end, Denver, of course, committing the foul, trying to get the ball back. Big free throws at this point in the game. The Nuggets have time to get the ball back, and of course, they hope that the Sixers, Lloyd Free, misses at least one.
Our producer today has been Charles H. Milton III, doing his usual fine job. Lloyd Free on the line here with the Sixers in command. Director is Sandy Grossman. We thank all of our able crew for doing such a great job with a great game. Our associate producer, Wally Miller. Field operations engineer, Walter Pyle, and the rest of the men who get the job done for you technically. Free makes it 118, a 3-point margin. Still 7 seconds remaining, of course, and a Denver timeout is called. And I guess we're going to have to hang a couple of more seconds here until we select our MVP, John, because while it looks like the Sixers are in command, we've had so many outstanding performances. Collins with 30 points for Philadelphia today. Julius Erving really bringing him on. He's got 26 at this moment. David Thompson, a brilliant afternoon with 39. Dan Issel, another outstanding game, his 5th big game in a row, 32 points. I mean, why can't we just pick the whole team, each side?
It's very difficult today. Now, coming back into the game, of course, the Nuggets, they'll get the ball at midcourt. They will take it out. They will try to go to the basket to try to get a 3-point play. Therefore, the Sixers, I am sure, will apply pressure, but still get away. Allow them the 2 with a little bit of pressure, but do not give them 3.
One thing about this game, it is really not over till it's over. 3-point margin, 7 seconds to go. Bobby Jones and Bobby Wilkerson have been shut out in the 4th period. Kind of an interesting stat. The 76ers have done the job on them, but they have not been able to stop David Thompson today. Very good teams can.
Hey, that Anthony scored full court man-to-man.
Cleveland and Detroit are in overtime at Detroit. Game being televised into some parts of the country here on CBS. So we're ready to go. Jones will make the throw in. They have Thompson, Wilkerson, Issel, and Jim Price on the floor. Thompson to Issel. He makes it. 3 seconds left. Denver pressing down the floor. Timeout call with 4 seconds, 4 seconds on the clock. 118 to 117.
Now, of course, Denver came in, made a very difficult shot there. They went right to Dan Issel to try to apply pressure to get 3 points. He gets 2, then they pick him up full court. The Sixers make a very smart move, call timeout. They get it at midcourt now. And, of course, Denver, they will go for the steal, I'm sure.
We're going to overplay.
118 to 117, and the strategy being discussed here on the parts of both coaches, their players.
Everybody, I want you to match up.
Something the Sixers, of course, must be concerned with. If you're going to pass the ball in, don't do it around the midcourt line, because if a steal is made, they've got a straight shot into the basket. I'm sure they're going to try to throw it into the front court, as deep into the front court as possible.
You go after the ball. If you can't steal it, you foul right away. All right, we still have a timeout. We still can win this game. If you steal it,
well, if the Sixers hang on to win it here, I think our choice will go to the Philadelphia side, but it's been very difficult today to pick an MVP. We have had all-stars playing like all-stars and some non-all-stars playing like all-stars.
Maybe we ought to bail out and leave it up to Chuck.
He wouldn't like that at all, our producer, Chuck Nelson. Sunday, February 5th, you're going to see these all-stars and more at 1:45 Eastern Time. We're finally ready to go here. Philadelphia will inbound it. It'll be mixed, and they've got Collins, Erving, Dawkins, and Free on the floor. Bo Ellis in there to try and block the inbound pass. Bobby Jones, look at this stack here. Time will not start till it's touched inbounds. It is by Dawkins, and Price has it. 2 seconds, he calls time. 2 seconds remaining, Denver timeout. And they'll bring it in from midcourt.
Big Daryl Dawkins, he's a little upset. He thought Jones fouled him, but Denver put on the pressure, got the ball back. Now, 2 seconds, that's plenty of time. It's been it's been accomplished in much less than that.
It has been done.
The Nuggets will also get it. Here you look at it again. Bobby Jones playing the passing lane. You think Daryl got hit on the arm then or not?
All right. What a finish. 2 seconds remaining.
Here's Matt. Here's Bobby Wilk. Here's David. And here's Dan. 8 feet from the goal. All right. David, set a screen for Dan popping after the jumper and then circle to the corner. All right. Bobby Wilk, set a screen for Matt going over the top. You got either one there. All right. BJ, either Dan or David or Matt or Bobby Wilk. Look to this side first. Hey, if you get it, 2 seconds, a lot of time. Jimmy McMillan can do dribbles in a pump fake. Most important thing is me this stuff. For me, David, you got to go to it quick. And then you got to count quick. Shoot that sucker in with the home.
Wow, you are hearing Larry Brown saying 2 seconds is a lot of time, Jerry.
And that's right. What he really means by that is don't rush the shot. He's got 2 screens set. He's giving his players 2 or 3 options coming off here. So look for these different options. Now, Dawkins is going to play Jones on the side court to try to make as much of an obstacle over there as possible.
All right, Jones will inbound. So look at Dawkins leaping up, trying to make it tough. Issel. The shot is no good. It's all over, and our Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award will go to Doug Collins of Illinois State. And the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship will be awarded to Illinois State on behalf of Doug Collins of the Philadelphia 76ers, who had 30 points and really sparked the Sixers to their victory here today. A thriller, 118 to 117. Jim Bryant for John McLaughlin saying so long. The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
This is CBS.